This video reveals the success secrets which have never been talked before on the internet for the man himself, the top G, the perfectionist, Andrew Tate.
Well, what color is your Bugatti?
Starting this video with the great news of celebration, that is why we are shooting this video. Andrew Tate just got released today.
Freedom at last.
And while we are talking about freedom, you have to also know about your freedom through this matrix. And Andrew Tate's motive is that this video's motive is to get knowledgeable about how you should escape this rat race through knowing about the ideas which Andrew Tate implemented, the 8 key pointers, key learnings from Andrew Tate's life, and how you should also escape the matrix. And the video will start with the 2 major negative key pointers about Andrew Tate, because the world wants to know the negative, but they are also justifiable. Also know the major 8 points about the learnings you should take from Andrew Tate, and stay till last for knowing all that. My motive of starting this video with the 2 negative points from Andrew Tate is to just accept and consider the mainly factors which Andrew Tate gets criticized about, and you should know the real reason and the justification for them. I hate to say this, but the first negative quality about Andrew Tate would be that he sometimes uses foul language, as well as he directly challenges a higher authority and some kind of group of people. It directly correlates with the fact that Andrew Tate expresses his language, his foul language, through his expression, and to convey his message, the language shouldn't be a part that people should feel offensive. As well as while talking about challenging the higher authorities and the group of people, he is known for that. He can do that. He is the top G for his name, and he should attempt that. He can challenge that, but you shouldn't go on that way. You have to make your life much more peaceful than that. Andrew Tate is on another level. He can attempt that, but you have to mindfully do these things. The second negative point on Andrew Tate might excite some people, as it is why Andrew Tate is majorly popular for, which is that Andrew Tate sometimes passes controversial comments on some identities, as well as majorly on women. But Andrew Tate has to mention that this is a very justifiable point, as Andrew Tate many times mentioned that women are the most beautiful creatures created on the planet Earth, as well as this is a clip which Andrew Tate certainly said many times.
I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill. I would never let a woman, if someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men by myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures.
This clip directly promotes the idea of how Andrew Tate sees the loyalty between men and women, not only on the basis of women, but also from the basis of men, where he sometimes says that women only should be loyal and men can do anything. But this clip directly shows that men and women should both be loyal to each other, and that justifies the most controversial point of Andrew Tate. These were the only 2 negative points that should be discussed on Andrew Tate, but now we are getting into the major part, the secrets that you should know to escape the matrix that Andrew Tate has to say and majorly focus on. The first key point to discuss here would be responsibility. You should be responsible for everything going in your life. You should be responsible for your time. You should be responsible for your body. You should be responsible for God going into your mouth, what food is going into your mouth, and what words are coming out of your mouth. You are responsible for every sentence you speak. You should be responsible for everything. He has everything in his mind constantly 24/7, and you should be responsible also at that level. Andrew Tate's responsibility is bigger than you think. Andrew Tate words are going into this world, and he has to mind everything he has to say, and he can't be controversial and can't pass offensive comments. You have to achieve everything in the world. Your goal is to be responsible over your ego. You have to justify your ego. You can't be a person who doesn't justify his ego, who doesn't complete his ambitions, and who isn't responsible for the people who he cares and loves. The second key learning you have to take from Andrew Tate is to be provider. You have to be a provider as a person, to provide to the people who you care, to provide to everyone. Andrew Tate's case is that he provided knowledge to every person while also having everything. He achieved everything once he had a $5 billion Bugatti. He had luxury watches. He had everything or every lifestyle he could imagine before giving out controversial comments, before having criticism. He could just rest in his house and doesn't provide for the knowledge to the people, but he doesn't choose that part. He chose the part to provide for the people, to provide with knowledge to escape the matrix to the other people. You also have to remember to provide always. This is your moral duty, and you should be responsible for that. The third best key learning you should know from Andrew Tate is that you are accountable for everything you do in your life. Responsibility is on the other side, but you have to be accountable also. Andrew Tate once gave a very great example which opened my eye too, which said said that when he had a meeting out of his house and he had some work to do out of his house, but there was raining outside of his house, so he blamed himself for that situation, which wasn't in his control. Rain is nobody's control, and he is held responsible in that situation too. He was accountable for that situation, as he says that he should have fly over to another country to head this meeting to do that work, and he was accountable for that level too. You should be accountable in your life of whatever you are doing to whatever your goals are accepting from you. Andrew Tate has always put on emphasis on this concept that you have to maintain your speed of working. You can't deny the power of speed you are working into. You have to be always fast. You have to be always ahead of time, ahead of every person through your speed. You can't be just sitting around lazy onto your bed and watching this video or any other video, but you have to constantly work for achieving your goals, and you are responsible for that. But that also you have to beat everyone through your speed, through every work you do within maintaining your speed. The fifth key learning from Andrew Tate will be that you have to have a self-belief. You have to have beliefs in things. You can't believe into depression, into anxiety, but you have to believe in real things. You have to believe in God to have a life more prosperous. You have to believe in God to be disciplined. You have to believe in God that you are always being washed on by someone, so you don't do anything that feels guilty to your mind, but you have to always have beliefs. Believe that you are able to conquer this world. You are able to achieve every goal you predict or you think about. You are capable of doing anything. You have to believe in yourself, and that Andrew Tate has to say to you, and you should follow this to change your life. The sixth key learning might sound you a bit harsh, but it's true in every sense that you can't aim for peace. You have to always have the necessity of stress. If you are aiming for peace, you are not achieving what you want. You are backing up for some situation. You are not constantly working. You can't have peace. There's no other option than working, because you have to provide for people. You have to provide for people who care for you and you love, but you can't have peace. If you are choosing the option of peace, then you are always backing out of something. You have to always have a necessity for stress and deal into stress and have a habit on doing that. This is a harsh that you have to always remember. The seventh key learning from Andrew Tate would be that you can't have emotions interfere within your work. If you look at the people who had the greatest life, who are working at the greatest place, who are at the top 1% and beyond that, you will see a pattern that they are not having emotions interfere their work. They are doing the work regardless. You can't have your hormones, you can't have your emotions control what you are doing, but you have to surpass that and keep emotions at a place that they are not real, but you have to constantly work for achieving more and more and more. But you can't stop by your emotions that you are feeling lazy or feeling this and that, but you have to bypass that situation. The last, the eighth, the best key learning that Andrew Tate has to say is that you have to get ahead of everything, every person, every boundary you can ever imagine, and you can't just sit on a place and just be at that level on your lifetime, but you have to achieve everything. You have to get ahead of everything through maintaining your speed and through following all the principles that we have been discussed in the 100 Principles series, as well as on these 8 major life-changing principles. But you have to implement, analyze, realize anything, but you have to do these and then get ahead of everyone. And if you don't do that, people are still gonna go ahead of you, and there are so many people who are wishing to have a life like yours, but you are not concentrating on the fact that you should achieve more, and you have been given this wonderful opportunity that you should achieve more and the best for yourself. And we have completed the 100 Business Principles by Andrew Tate in the short form content. You can see that on my channel. For talking to me at a personal level, you can follow me on all the social medias that are mentioned in the link below. You should also follow me on the community that I am making of NFT that is called Doodle Panther, and you should talk to the community, indulge in that, and we will make something big out of that. You should communicate with people more mind likely that you are, also to have a better connection and a networking for yourself. So all go to the links, go to the description and connect with me onto that, as well as go make something big in your life. Don't waste your time. The channel's major goal for the subscribers is to get to 1000 subscribers through this. Andrew Tate's army has the potential to do that, so you also have to subscribe to this channel right now. Watch the content that nurtures you more rather than concentrating on what's going on in the world right now. Follow me for more content like this, and until that, stay tuned.